How do you feel about the Troubles in Northern Ireland?
Well, I feel a lot safer since the ceasefire's been called, and I think some of my friends do as well, because the Troubles have been up my way, and the IRA man who bombed the Schenkel just lived a couple of streets away from me.
Have you been affected by the Troubles in Northern Ireland?
I haven't been affected at all, but my best friend was very close to being killed in the Schenkel bombing.
Has anyone in your family been affected by the Troubles?
My best friend's dad was killed.
And that makes you feel angry?
Very.
The Troubles, 25 years of conflict in Northern Ireland. In one way or another, everyone has been affected. Northern Ireland is a society governed by fear, a society split in two. A local proverb sums it up. Whatever you say nothing. But how can there be peace without talking? We are French filmmakers. As outsiders, will people speak more freely to us? Resolute College is one of those rare, fragile places where Catholics and Protestants learn to study and live together.
As you all know, there have been various announcements and pieces of news over the last week or so, and it is appropriate for me to talk about the peace process. Now, we in this school have been working at it for 10 years in achieving understanding between the two warring communities. And I've said repeatedly that peace comes from within ourselves. It's not enough to talk about it, even to think about it. It has to come from inside our hearts. It is your responsibility to demonstrate that peace is in your heart. Thank you.
Well, if you're ever going to make a TV programme about Northern Ireland, first thing you have to do is don't talk to any politicians at all. Avoid them like the plague. Second, avoid all the churches. Third, avoid the institutions, things that are the status quo, because that'll just defeat the entire purpose. They won't tell you how things are, they'll tell you how things are supposed to be. They'll tell you how they are in official documents and things, and it's not real.
For the past 3 months, the life of college students aged 16 to 18 has been broadcast in the nightly bulletins Belfast Lessons. The first broadcast seems harmless. Angela is on her way to school.
You can go down the White Railroad way, but we don't go down that way. We go down this way because there's Catholics waiting to go to school. They stand on the White Railroad, and it's not that we're scared of them or anything, but we just don't avoid it. So we just go this way to avoid them. Down there's where all the Catholics stand and get the bus. We know some of them, but we don't want to go near them just in case people can turn so they can when they're with their mates, probably. So we just avoid them. It's the best way, isn't it?
Without realizing it, Angela has said too much. Her remarks are to trigger a storm. There are things here that everyone knows, but no one will say.
Incidents do happen, and yes, I mean, children have been chased, and yes, children can be picked upon because they're perceived to be a different religion, so everyday incidents are just part of life, so they're not commented on. In other words, Angela mightn't think about not coming directly to school. She might just automatically go round another way, whether it's necessary or not.
I don't know really what. There's not. I'm in no harm, but I just stay away from it. Like sometimes I'd walk up the Whitewell Road and I don't.
Like everyone else, Angela will quickly understand one of the rules of the game of these daily 3-minute stories. The program is seen by viewers throughout Great Britain, but relatives, friends and teachers are watching too. Sometimes they don't like what they see.
We expect them to think about the Troubles in a way that we might do, whereas in fact the Troubles are just a background to their life which they don't actually think about. And I found that quite interesting to see it from that point of view, because it's something maybe we need to think about.
You mean the ceasefire might actually unsettle them?
No, I don't think so, but I don't think the ceasefire means maybe as much to them as it does to us.
Looking at Aiden's paper here, the Irish News, 21 days. It's a long, it's a lot to hold it for. It's good. What do you think of ceasefire? Hopefully it'll last. Hey, although you know what the word is, permanent. We're away. Break's over. Bye.
It's been 3 weeks since the IRA declared a ceasefire. Will it be permanent? Tony and Aiden are not sure. For several days now, Angela Skander has caused upset throughout the college. Her friends feel she's let them down. They say the program gives a negative picture of the relations between Catholics and Protestants here. Her mother's friends think Angela should have shut up. One of her teachers has even told her off in public. The Students' Council is divided too.
I mean, Angela was saying about that. You can't go here, you can't go there. And that's, I mean, I'm not restricted like that, not really.
That's her experience, that's how she lives. She can't lie and say she walks down past the Catholics and she's great friends with them and all if she doesn't, and she's intimidated by them.
I know that there, but...
She was just trying to prevent something from happening.
But the thing was, if she'd have said it once, but she kept going over and over the topic.
People over in England, they're going to see that, and she contradicted herself, I think, in my opinion, because she said she couldn't walk down there because of the Catholics, yet she goes into an integrated school.
Maybe she's justified. I don't know. I mean, maybe there is that deep resentment in her area that the Catholics are bigoted, and they do chase her.
Well, maybe the film crew should go back and give her another chance to explain what she meant then.
A boy come up to me and says to me, oh, I didn't like what you said the other night on TV. And I said, why? What did I say that was wrong? Did I offend you? Because he was a Catholic, and I said, did I offend you? And he says, no. And here's me, well, did I say anything wrong? He was, well, I thought that you were making like Catholics to be trouble. So they picked it up wrong. I wasn't saying Catholics are trouble. I'm just saying that two religions argue, and it's just a thing that people use, an excuse that people use to fight, and I just stay away from it.
I think there is the idea, you know, you don't say anything in case you cause offence, so you don't sing at all in case you hurt someone's feelings. But I think the other interesting thing that happens is people sometimes say things off the cuff and they don't realise that they're hurting, or that somebody from the other side might be reacting to that, but then they don't know how to challenge them on that.
No, it's not possible to say the truth all the time. Most times, for me, it is, because I'm really forward.
Well, Angela had warned us 3 weeks ago. Whatever Angela says, she says what she thinks.
This city is designed for warfare. It's really stupid. Like, it's divide and conquer.
Like sometimes it's exaggerated by the media overseas. Yeah. Like a lot. Like, I was in America over the summer and I think it's like Vietnam, where you're dodging bullets on your way to school and hiding in a bunker as you go to bed.
There's nothing to do, you know. You stand on the streets, and then the police or whatever can tell you to move on. So you would come up to a place like this.
You move on, you still get hassled.
You come up to a place like this, and then they tell you to move away. So where do you go? What is there to do for?
The police just want us to stay in our houses. You can't go nowhere. Everywhere you go, move on. And you're going, that policeman told us to move on. And you're going, so just move on. And you keep banging into policemen, move on. Might as well stay in bed.
But there's a fear when you go out at night. What if? You know, there's always that what if factor, like, which is sad.
Even then
Should never be like.
You're walking beside a car and you're afraid of it like blowing up beside you or something, you know what I mean?
It's hard to explain to people, you know. It's hard to explain to someone when they come up to you and say, why is Belfast the way it is? Why do the people hate each other?
There's too much history behind it.
It's
It's
just-
the problem, really. That's why I don't think that the ceasefire will come off in a matter of weeks or something. There's too much history behind it.
Too much history? 300 years. More recently, 1968, the civil rights movement for the Catholic minority ended in failure, leading to civil war, and with it, the painful memories of partition. Since then, the problem is trying to bring together the Unionists who want to stay British and the Republicans who want a united Ireland. Can the leader of Sinn Féin, the IRA's political wing, Gerry Adams, and Ian Paisley, the hardline Protestant leader, find common ground as these youngsters have?
They call them the Troubles, but what would they know? They've nothing to hide, nor nothing to show. Nothing has changed in 25 years. Still the blood, the sorrows, the hatred and tears. How long must we wait? Where should we hide? Why can't we show what dwells deep inside? Our feelings are shallow, yet the world passes by. Old ladies weep, and young men they die. Still nothing happens, no one stands up to shout. No one stands up to show what we doubt. The killers say they don't do it in vain, but I stand up to say it's not in my name.
Well, I think, I'm not too sure, but once when I was at the shops, my dad pointed out that somebody had been killed here in the Troubles, and there's flowers there, you know, but I didn't really hear much about it, because, you know, things like this are happening all the time, and, you know, whenever it happened just after the ceasefire, I think, and I've been warned, you know, be careful going out tonight, because somebody had been shot pretty close by, but that was it, really, you know. It's got to a stage where somebody innocent has their life taken away from them, and they're remembered, you know, maybe for a day, and then they're just forgotten about again, and the Troubles go on.
People think, oh, because I'm a Catholic, I should believe in nationalism, or because I'm a Protestant, I should believe in unionism, you know. I don't believe in either of them, to tell you the truth. I'm not even sure what I believe in yet. I've never thought about it. I don't think, you know, I'm too young to really think about it, to make a decision about my future and what political status I am. I think, you know, people shouldn't be encouraged to make a decision because of their religion, of what they believe in.
About 9 o'clock, or shortly after, a car pulled up behind me here at the Glenview pub, and there was an automatic gun. Somewhere between 20 and 40 shots were fired at the outside of the pub. It was Protestant paramilitaries firing on just at the pub in the nationalist area. It was completely unprovoked, like, pointless, really. I mean, everybody's, yeah, we're really scared. People are being shot, they're going to bomb us next, but kids are still playing.
All right, now, my pace, boys, nice and easy, okay?
Okay, boys. What's the main prize? The main prize is peace. You know, so, you know, if one side wins, it doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be peace. You know, I think, you know, if the two of them can sort of it's maybe difficult to explain this, but if the two of them can come to a compromise where they're prepared to give up, each of them is prepared to give up some of what they would like to have, you know, and come maybe and meet in the middle somewhere.
That's it, good lad. It's more mental than physical. Good boys, hold on. That's good pace. Let's walk a wee bit, okay?
I saw a beast upon the mountainside. It came closer and I saw it was a man. We drew together and it was my brother. I think the meaning is that his brother was in some sort of organisation and he thought of him as a beast.
If someone moves away from you and changes a lot, then the way you feel about them will change also. So that's an equally good explanation, I think. Anyone else?
People who might be angry about being unemployed, or angry about not having a future, or angry about being trapped in an educational system which doesn't serve them. And I could talk at length about the selective system in Northern Ireland, which handicaps 70% of the population at the age of 11 to start with. So all that type of anger can be has been directed down a political road or a paramilitary road, as opposed to dealing with the social or whatever issues.
We're walking up towards Manor Street here, and this is the peace lane in the wasteland everywhere.
That's Manor Street, and it comes from Cliftonville Road. It's all Catholic area, and that's a peace line. It divides the Catholics from the Protestants, and the Protestants are on the other side.
It's to keep the peace.
Try and keep the peace between the two communities, because they're always fighting, so they have to build peace lines.
Keep them from each other, in other words. But now Europe's going to be sending in money, so they say, I was reading in the paper, to take them all down.
Give them money.
Give them money to take them down. You can see there, if you look over, the tricolour, that's the Catholic flag, and then
the other side,
it's the Union Jacks. All the kids following us, eh? Fuck it, I'm walking further down there. Down the other side there is the Protestant side. Don't know, I've never been down that street before, and don't reckon I ever will be.
Well, I've been down it.
Ciara's brave.
Pauline, my friend's granny, lives down there. I mean, we went down, it was night time too. We went down. She lives a good bit down near it. I mean, but Pauline says to me, it's a wee bit dodgy down here, but it'll be okay. It puts a fear in you that you'd be scared to go down there on your own, or with your friends or whatever.
I better take my coat off. It's pretty hard to...
After 1 month of programs, Warren and Michael wanted to meet us here this morning. Like some others, they think that the program is too focused on the Troubles and religion. They want us to film their everyday life. Their choice, the golf course.
It's
the time's about
8:10.
8
on a Monday morning. Cold Monday morning. Very tired.
It's too early.
I want to go to England. It's have nothing to do with violence whatsoever. I mean, but I just want to get out of Northern Ireland for a few years. I mean, I'll end up coming back and living here, I know I will. But I mean, I just want to get out for a few years. It's because Northern Ireland, the situation in Northern Ireland, everything just gets blown up so much. I mean, if someone in England wants to go and study in France, there's not a word said about it. But if somebody like me or Warren wants to go and study in somewhere like France, it's because we hate the Troubles or we hate Belfast.
Oh, stop.
Get over there.
Oh, look at that,
Let me
Michael.
borrow your putter.
What can I say? Whoa, it's fast.
You said it was slow, you...
Oh, look at that.
Four. Sport's one of the ways that people do come together. I mean, definitely with golf, like he's a Protestant and I'm a Catholic. I mean, 3,000 people have been killed, and I mean that's truly tragic. But I mean, like, you don't go golfing with some guy in the morning and then go out and shoot him. So my solution is give Ian Paisley and Jerry Adams a set of golf clubs, and they can sort their differences out on round the green talks, instead of around the table talks.
Go ahead, Michael.
Does anybody want a drink?
Yeah, I do.
Where do you think? Just take a glass. Cheers.
I got that this morning.
Dear Oliver, hi, my name's Vicky. I saw you on Belfast Lessons last week and really wanted to write to you. We get shops and stations being bombed by the IRA sometimes, especially right in the centre of London, but it's nowhere near as bad as in Belfast. I just think it's so pointless. I just wanted you to know that I thought you were really good on the programme. Please write to me. Love always, Vicky. P.S. Can you possibly write out your poem for me?
Well, that shows that the
really
programme's going down well somewhere else.
Bit jealous now, am I?
Alright, how you doing?
Too bad.
Alright, my name's Tony Donnan from Radio Royal. Will you request for today?
One for tonight from the patients at Ward 11,
Ward
12.
11. And what kind of music would you like?
Country and Western.
Country and Western. This request is for Stephen Mooney. He is in Ward 11. He would like to congratulate and thank the staff of the Royal Victoria Hospital for doing the good work they're doing.
To get people asking for Republican-type songs or songs which might equate to the unionist side of the fence type of thing. To simplify it, it's a two-tribes situation in Northern Ireland, and well, each of the tribes has a certain brand of music which they associate with. The other tribe would find that offensive.
Hospital radio, keeping you company, just when you need a friend.
Like, people are coming with heart attacks, like, you don't be sticking on rave, like, taking another heart attack. You can't stick on really anything really beanie, like, I mean, like, really boom, boom, like, it's like nice, everything that has to be nice and calm. You have to put on what the patients want you to put on. That's why people go down and get requests. Here's a request for Tom Irvine, who wanted a wee bit of classical music, so I give him a wee bit of Mozart.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Oliver. Happy birthday to you.
Well, I'm 17 today. The first step in the road to peace has been taken, and hopefully by the time I'm 18, there will be peace in Belfast and Northern Ireland.
We're not going to get progress here until we have parties that can cross the community. You know, it's all very well to talk about agreements in Washington and agreements in Dublin and London. Until they get the people in Belfast to agree, we're not going to go anywhere. They're building another peace line, so-called peace line, through a local park. That goes against what they're doing up on top. It just shows the grassroots aren't ready for it yet. There's a lot of preparation still to be done. And I would prefer to see that preparation done instead of the limelight being shown on things which are quite artificial.
I was in bed sleeping and the bomb went off and I jumped out of bed and my brothers and my mother and my father, everybody had run out because we only lived behind there, and we all ran down the street and we were just glad that no one was in the bar.
Another attack. This time, the target is a Catholic pub right by the college. A man who didn't want to talk to the camera explained that some anti-Protestant graffiti had irritated a loyalist group who decided to take action. The Loyalists have refused to join the ceasefire for 7 weeks now. They fear that British Prime Minister John Major and Ireland's then Prime Minister Albert Reynolds made a deal behind their backs. After school, a trip to the beach. Exciting rumors have been spreading all day. The Loyalists seem to be on the point of declaring their own ceasefire.
I mean, if there's going to be peace, it's not going to just happen overnight. I mean, a ceasefire on both sides, it's going to take a really long time.
I'd say it's going to take another 25 years before anybody can really feel secure about
peace, if there is ever going to be peace.
I mean, but they're arguing now over the future, because Albert Reynolds said to Gerry Adams that it'd be at least a generation before there could be a possible chance of a united Ireland. And I mean, they're taking a generation away, and Gerry Adams is still arguing for a generation away. Do you know what I mean?
All are willing to stop the whole thing, to stop everything, just to put down everything and start a new Ireland.
But the Loyalists don't want a united Ireland, and if there's a possibility of a united Ireland, then they're all just going to start up again. Do you know what I mean?
We'll say that they've honestly gained out of 25 years of violence. You know, they've caused so much pain and upset that it's nearly everybody's lives in Northern Ireland.
I mean, like I can't even imagine how these people think. If the ceasefire holds, until all those people who killed innocent people on both sides, I mean Protestant and Catholic, I mean, at the end of the day, the people that pull the trigger are going to have to live with it for the rest of their lives. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's going to be on the conscience until the day that they die, and then in 20 years, when they realise that killing people achieved nothing, I mean, they'll realise what kind of people they were. It's sick in the head.
It's kind of like addictive. People get addicted to cigarettes, some to alcohol. Other people just get addicted to killing. I don't think there'll ever be a proper ceasefire, no matter what. It's just been on too long. What's going to change it now?
You can't just say, all right, well, killing's gone on 25 years. Who cares if it goes on another 25 years? Nobody's tried anything in the past. Nobody's tried to bring peace. You know, you have to start somewhere, and maybe this could be a success.
I mean, like, all the people that have been killed, I mean, their families will never be able to wipe out what happened to them. I mean, it's really horrible. But I mean, you have to try and
start somewhere.
And just get away from that all and just find something new.
I think people are still going to have resentment for people of the other religion. I mean, all the paramilitaries lay down their arms. I think Catholics and Protestants, I mean, the ones that hate each other, they're still going to go on hating each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A few hours later, the news is confirmed. A loyalist ceasefire has been declared. Now, both sides have put away the guns. Is peace really here?
The historic announcement heralding the much-anticipated loyalist ceasefire came at this Belfast news conference.
And may all our Christmases be right. Hey! 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 Hope our kids get a good Christmas this year. Yes, I think so.
The atmosphere in the town has changed. There are crowds in the streets. No more searches at shop doors. Some people are coming up from the Republic for the first time in 25 years. Of course, the police in their bulletproof jackets are still in the streets, but everything seems so quiet. Some people wonder whether the army will continue to patrol in Belfast.
I don't see soldiers around this school. It's very strange. This is the first time actually I've saw them up here. So it is.
I hang about with my mates, and we were sitting on a wall one day, and we saw soldiers stopping at a bridge, and then they were just looking about everywhere in the bushes and everything, and then they came out and checked under their fans and all. It was so funny. It was like watching a film. It is kind of mysterious when they're doing all their wee moves and walking up the street. They walk like different, they stay about a couple of yards apart from each other, and one goes on one side and the other goes on the other, and then they'd stop for a while, maybe sit down, look around them, and then maybe get up again and follow on, but staying in a single file apart from each other, just turning around and checking everything, just being cautious.
I have a friend, he was in my youth club, we call him Brian, and he left about May to go and join up, and he was posted then to Ballymena Barracks, and don't see him as much. You see him the odd weekend and he maybe gets off, that type of thing. People of my age, we've grown up with soldiers constantly around us. Do you know, we don't know any difference. My mum remembers whenever you didn't have soldiers on the street. You maybe get crowds of fellas who'll give them the finger, stuff like that there, Catholic fellas or whatever, telling them to go back to Britain, that type of thing. And then most girls like fellas in uniform, so you know, you get them smiling at them and waving and stuff. But you know, they're just part of my life. I'm always used to have seen them there, and you know, I think they'd be worried about their jobs. There's bound to be cutbacks within the army and the police, because hopefully there'll not be any more trouble.
Now, as the walls start to come down, people still wonder, is this going to be a lasting peace?
One headline, one newspaper has a headline about Gerry Adams. But it doesn't seem to be about the peace talks. It's about Gerry Adams' minders getting weapons to protect him. You know, John Major was in Belfast yesterday, and about the peace talks, and they're too busy talking about the future King of England.
Halloween and half-term. The first Halloween that any of them have really celebrated. A year ago, it was very different. Paramilitaries murdered 7 people in a pub at Greysteel.
Hello. Do I know anybody? Do you know you all?
Halloween's coming and the gist is getting fat. Will you please put a penny in the old man's hat?
But Halloween without a trip to the graveyard wouldn't be Halloween.
I do not like this type of ground. Right, anyone know where we're going?
Oh, God, lads.
Hold on.
You don't want to be reading that.
Died age 26.
6. I don't know.
What's that noise?
I've never really left the house thinking to myself, oh God, I can get shot because I'm in this area. Somebody could drive up here and go rat-a-tat-a-tat with a machine gun, and that's me lying on the ground in pools of blood.
I remember the time I was, I was in bed and I heard gunshots up the road, and it really freaked me out because the killings then were that random that they basically could have walked into your house and shot you. Yeah. Before the ceasefire, you're always thinking, you know, because the shooting and all that's that random, you could be caught up in it when you're walking down the street or something like that.
People are afraid of relatives then because they'll know they'll be alone. It frightens me sometimes. No one ever. Do you ever get when you wake up and it's about 5 o'clock in the morning, it's still dark, and you feel sick in your stomach, and you just know that no one's going to come along and comfort you, and you just feel completely and totally alone. That frightens me.
Ironically, since a different future has begun to seem possible, there's never been so much talk about the past. But what of the future? Some people choose this moment to express their doubts and fears.
wanted to show you this mural because it's my favourite one out of the lot in Rathcoole. I don't know why, but it just stands out from the rest. It's as if it was a proper artist who's drawn it. They're proud of the fact that so many people died for Ulster and that they would be willing to die for more people to die to keep it Ulster. Well, as the songs go, and to keep it British land, because it's their home. They've lived here all their life and they just don't want it to be part of Ireland. And I can't really say I blame them. So if somebody comes up to me and says, right, you're living in Ireland, I turn around and say, no, I'm not, I live in Ulster. If they want an argument, they've got an argument. I don't believe in either ceasefire because it's just so false. Both of them. I was very surprised when the UVF announced their ceasefire, the joint paramilitaries one. I was more shocked than anything because I didn't want it. Because I don't like to see the IRA getting their way. Because that's the way it feels to me. They've got their way. They got what they wanted, and if they don't get what they want in the future, then they'll just go back to their arms like they've already said. And that's just not right.
Next morning at the college, and people are shocked. Karen's friends are flabbergasted by her point of view. No one is used to hearing such ideas expressed so clearly by one of their classmates.
She doesn't regret 3,000 people being killed, you know. I just thought...
Yeah, but it wasn't just the one organisation.
I know, but...
I don't really think nothing of it. It's her point of view, and this programme is really show everybody's point of view, and she's showing it. But I thought it was a bit strong in a way.
But it's like honestly, she says what she said, and everybody was angry. But I'm angry, but I'm not going to start shouting out like.
Yeah, but I don't shout at you about what you say.
I know,
so
but I don't say.
I
don't turn around and say.
It's my opinion. I'm allowed to say.
You can
say whatever the hell you want.
Well, what are you now to say? And if the UVF don't call peace, then there's not going to be peace.
Maybe ceasefire, but it's not peace.
It is peace because they're going to stop shooting each other.
Aye, but it's still not peace.
Aye.
Okay, maybe it's a form of peace because there's no shootings, but it's not total peace. Total peace is when everybody says they're not going back to their weapons.
I don't want a UVF ceasefire. It's the point to go to a school.
Yeah, you're going to an integrated school. I don't think you like people turning around saying, you know, I didn't want a UVF ceasefire because this school's here to try and bring peace, right? It's trying to bring Protestants and Catholics together, okay? And then when you're saying that you didn't want a UVF ceasefire, that's saying you still want them killing people.
So you're saying like if you go to an integrated school, you have to have a certain point of view, and you're not allowed to have any other point of view.
I just thought.
I go to a school and I want peace, but you go to a school and you don't want peace.
I never said I didn't want it. I said I didn't care.
Like, I mean, should the courage to stand up and say her opinion, and she knew it was going to be controversial. I mean, like, you have to have respect for that. I mean, someone's willing to stand up and say, I have this point of view and I don't care what anyone else thinks about it.
If someone says something and I don't agree with it, I would say, I don't agree with you. And by saying that, it sounds as if I'm supporting the other side in the argument, right? Like, say, for example, someone said, like Karen said something. It could look as if Tony's a real Republican by having a fight with her, when he's not. Or Warren, who's a Protestant, was even having a fight with her. You know? So a lot of people could get brought into it, yeah, and it could be dangerous for particularly those 4 people who had the argument.
Okay, there's people very, very angry with me who just want to knock my block off, but there's other people who are glad that I brought it up, because there's a lot of people with a lot of views and they're just too frightened to state them for what will happen to them. And I just happened to be one of the first ones that was able to state it, what I wanted to say. And maybe that's why they were so angry, because they only want to hear things that will make the school sound brilliant. But what's the use in having a school where everybody's all happy and all? What's the use in having it? You need that school to be there to sort things like that out.
Keep passing them down.
A big day at the college. This morning, the President of the Irish Republic, Mary Robinson, is coming to meet the students. Tonight, she will no doubt be going to the football match between the Republic and Northern Ireland. And yet, right up to the last minute, no one is really sure if she'll come. In Dublin, the government is in crisis. People are worried that if it falls, the peace process could be a casualty.
Do you think it makes a difference to be in an integrated school? I mean, what would you say is the main difference?
You get to hear both sides of the story.
You get to hear both sides of the story, yeah. And do you think that there's a problem of understanding the story if you don't hear both sides?
If you don't hear both sides, you're just going to get stuck to the side that you've been brought up with.
Yes.
But if you hear both sides, you learn to understand both sides, and then you'll be able to communicate with the other side better.
And do you find that you form friendships just as easily with those who are of a different religion or don't have a religious belief?
I mean, they're just the same as us. They're not going to bite me. Well, they can if they're hungry.
Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, you may have heard that there are certain pressing concerns in Dublin, so I'm not. But I do have one great advantage of this office, that if I were to go, I'd have got a very good seat. Okay. Bye.
So, did you hear the news today then?
Yes, Albert Reynolds has resigned as Irish Prime Minister.
What was that now?
Well, it's because he was very nasty to all the other people in Dublin.
Hope this doesn't affect the peace process.
Well, we all have to hope and pray that it doesn't. We've come this far.
Where's your tie? What are you doing out of class? Hurry up, go to class quickly. Quickly. Hi, folks. How are you?
Hello.
Tony, just so you know, Tony. That's all you can do. How are you, Karen? Alright. Did you get to your work experience yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
And how's it going?
It's okay.
What are you doing?
I got a good report for it.
Unfortunately, Tony can't
Don't
give
know
away
where I'm
from-
in work experience.
Indeed.
I'm in school of work experience.
I did notice Tony.
Yes.
Yes, but he's very good, really. So yes.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
But it's a resource centre.
Why?
I guess. Can't get away from him. No escape. Okay,
Right.
folks. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye. Right, Robert, why don't you in your class move quickly? In school where we have conflict, and of course conflict has occurred for many reasons in any place where you've got 600 children, what we would try to do would be try to discuss the issue with the children, to take the people involved into a small group situation and get them to talk out how they feel about it and what they think about it, and then to try and separate their feelings from their opinions, so that if they have a problem with someone else, it's with what the person's saying rather than with the person as a person.
Has the time now come for discussions unthinkable a month ago? We organized a meeting between the students and two former prisoners, a Republican and a loyalist.
In the areas I move about in, there is a vacuum in policing. The IRA are punishing persistent offenders.
I think the punishment beatings have to be, in my opinion, they have to be stopped. But the only way they are going to stop is when whatever police force, whether it's IUC or whoever, actually start dealing with the petty crime. But unfortunately, people do go to the paramilitaries, and the paramilitaries do carry out punishment beatings.
Do you not feel that a political solution could have been achieved a lot quicker around the table than at the barrel of a gun?
See, we're into a chicken and egg situation where I would say that the whole situation drove me to become involved in Republican paramilitaries or the Republican movement. Had that situation been different, I wouldn't have become involved in it.
Do you believe what you did was right?
Yeah, I believe it was right. Yeah.
What about you, Billy?
Yep, I mean, I believed at the time it was right. Although in saying that, you know, now I don't think it, and that's why we work to get a ceasefire, we don't think that violence was working, you know. But at the time, whenever I was involved in the early 70s, I seen it as right.
In the future, people we're going to have to suffer some discomfort. As I said before, it's easy to sit down and speak with people who you agree with and who agree with you, but you're really achieving nothing. You have to sit down with people who fundamentally disagree with what you're saying and with whom you disagree fundamentally. That's when that discomfort is manifest, then you know that you're achieving something. And so any changes, any movement comes from the bottom up instead of coming forced down from the top.
Hiya. Do you want a cup of tea?
Yeah.
What else would you say? It's not enjoyable and friendly as in nowadays. Oh, thank God the troubles are over, but when the troubles were, I felt sorry for the young ones because where were they going to go? Their parents were worried, both sides were worried to see if they were going to get killed or beat up or something, and they were lying in the hospital. So what? And I like the big city, because you mind your own business, you get into no trouble. That's my motto.
Well, I want to leave home when I'm 18 because I want to be independent and do what I want to do myself. I want to be my own boss.
Right. There are people say that when they come 18, I'd love to leave home. And people has left home, but they're glad to get back because sometimes it doesn't work out like that.
No, but I don't want to leave home. I want to go away to London or England or wherever and just travel about.
You talk about here, London's just as bad over there with murders and drugs and everything.
I'm not leaving because of the troubles.
No.
I'm leaving because I just want to leave and go and see what there is. But it's like out in the mainland.
Oh no, everybody has to move on. Sometimes I miss down my own house too, was born in, but these things, everything changes.
The children I have in my classroom have experienced politics and our political situation emotionally, physically, mentally, in a way they've been hurt by it. In a way perhaps the children in Paris or Bonn or Milton Keynes or somewhere in Kent haven't. Politics is a very real, live issue here in Northern Ireland.
Our 3 months in Belfast are nearly over. As we prepare to leave, we hear that a date has been set for the first official talks between the British government and Sinn Féin. But what do the students and ordinary people in Northern Ireland expect from these talks?
Maybe the talks on the 17th, something more will come of it, because they will be talking about they'll be talking about what to talk about, if you know what I mean. So they'll be bringing up the issues of how they're going to talk about disarmament for the IRA, and it's the same token about British withdrawal.
Oh, header! Yay! Oh. I got killed myself.
People have to be careful about what they do and say because it is a thin foundation. Those expectations have been built up a bit too high, so if it does collapse, it'll be such a letdown. Yeah, I mean, you know, fair enough, there might well be peace, and hopefully there will be, and I believe that there will be, but if something does happen, that people's expectations at the minute are so high, then it'll just all collapse. Exactly. And it'll be worse than when it ended.
You should try and convey a more positive attitude, a more positive view to show that you want the peace process to work.
I mean, these politicians aren't even... How can you be more positive? These politicians can't even stand and talk with each other, and they're trying to decide our future for us, and you're asking us to try and be positive about it?
Politicians don't know half about Belfast. They don't know nothing about Belfast, so they don't.
Politicians, that is.
If they want to know something about Belfast, tell them to come on over. Like, I know, Dodger, Tigers Bay, and they don't know about Belfast, because they don't know two shites about Belfast.
It's cold there, Tony.
No.
But you're going to America anyway.
Cheerio. Hope you enjoyed Belfast Lessons and I hope you enjoyed listening to us talking.